So let's jump into a really powerful framework for personal and professional growth called Faith Kaizen. We're going to break down how making these incredibly small daily changes can lead to a much more ordered and honestly, a more joyful life. But let's start with a feeling I think we all know, right? That frustration. Maybe it's a New Year's resolution that's already a distant memory by February. You aim for this huge transformation, but the momentum, it just fizzles out. It's such a common cycle. But what if the problem isn't our ambition? What if it's our whole approach? This framework suggests we just completely reframe the goal. So forget the giant leap for a second, and let's focus on something much, much smaller. The secret to real, sustainable change. It isn't about giving 100% effort right from day one. Nope. It's about starting with just 1%. That's it. That's the key. And this is the core idea of Kaizen. You're making changes that are so small, they're almost impossible to fail at. It's all about that simple, daily choice to get just a tiny, tiny bit better than you were the day before. Okay, so let's really dive into the philosophy here. It's this fascinating blend of a proven industrial discipline, Kaizen, with a faith-based perspective on life and work. It's pretty cool. The whole foundation is the concept of Kaizen itself. Now, it started in manufacturing, but its principle is totally universal. It's a commitment to making small, ongoing, positive changes. It's a journey, not a destination. So how does faith change this industrial idea? Well, Faith Kaizen adapts it by taking that famous question, what would Jesus do, and applying it beyond just the big moral decisions. It asks us to apply it to the everyday processes of our lives, like how we work, how we communicate, even how we organize our day. And this verse really illustrates the spiritual anchor for the whole framework. It's rooted in what the source material calls the continuous increase mandate, this idea that we're called to constantly grow in love and devotion, more and more, day by day. Okay, so how do we turn all this philosophy into a practical system? Well, the framework gives us this two-part engine to manage our lives, and this is where the theory gets really tangible and hands-on. The system runs on these two interconnected cycles, kind of like an engine. So on one side, you have the SDCA cycle. Think of this as your maintenance gear. It's all about standardizing your wins and making sure you don't slip backwards. Then on the other side, you've got the PDCA cycle. That's the growth gear. This is how you push forward and get those new breakthroughs. You absolutely need both to move forward. First up is the SDCA, or the maintenance cycle. This is all about discipline. You set a minimum standard, let's say reading for 5 minutes a day, and you just do it. Then you check, did I do it? And if you missed a day, you act right away to get back on track. It's all about holding the line. And then you've got the PDCA cycle, the breakthrough cycle. This is how you systematically get better. You plan a tiny improvement, maybe bumping that reading time to 10 minutes. You do it for a week just as a test. Then you check in. How did it feel? Did it work? If it did, you act by making that your new standard, which you then maintain with the SDCA cycle. See how they work together? So this two-cycle engine, it becomes way more than just some productivity hack. It's a really practical structure for living out core principles like order, discipline, and integrity every single day. Now, this framework isn't just about adding new habits. A huge part of continuous improvement is identifying and removing whatever is holding you back. It's just as much about subtraction as it is about addition. In Kaizen, this is called Muda, which is a Japanese term for waste. And this applies to so much more than just, physical clutter. It can be wasted time, wasted energy, or even wasted emotional capacity on things like worry or judgment. You can actually take action on this right now. Think of just one recurring negative thought you've had in the last day. Okay? That's the waste. Now, what is one tiny 1% action you can take to discard it? Maybe it's a simple prayer, or choosing to say one encouraging word instead. That's eliminating Muda. Okay, let's take that idea of eliminating waste from our inner world and bring it into our physical environment. Because, a lot of times our outer world is a direct reflection of our inner state. So try this little mini challenge later today. Just 5 items on your desk. Sort through them, then pick one tiny corner and just set it in order. That feeling of clarity you get from that small victory, that's the same principle as the peace you get from a decluttered mind.
So how do you make this a sustainable, lifelong practice instead of just a one-time thing? Well, you need a system for reflection and for action.
And the framework provides this really simple tool for a 5-minute weekly reflection. There's no judgment here, it's just a quick check-in. You look back at your week across these 4 key areas and just see how you did. It's not about feeling guilty, it's all about gaining awareness for the week ahead.
But reflection without action is really just observation, right? The final crucial step is to turn that awareness into a concrete plan. So, based on your reflection, you define one single 1% improvement for next week. You write down the specific step, and you decide how you'll know if you succeeded. This closes the loop, and it drives real, sustainable change. And this brings us right back to where we started. The power isn't in just knowing about this framework. It's in actually doing it. So as we wrap this up, the real question is for you. What is the one single tiny improvement you can make today that is so small you simply cannot fail? Start right there.